Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So it's July 13th. And you know what that means, and you know what day that is. That is the 1 year anniversary where our president, Donald J. Trump, almost lost his life to a Marxist, out of control teenage Marxist. Didn't know how to control his emotions. And it had to have been a miracle. I did the video on it, and might have to watch that 1 year video. This day is a remarkable day, of course, because it's not a day of sadness to me. It's actually a day of patriotism. It's actually a day of good feelings. Because it actually, for the first time in my life, I've never felt so much patriotism than to see my president raise his fist to the air with the American flag and the agents surrounding him. It gives you this feeling of security, that we're being defended, that someone there is fighting for us. And although there is this period in time in the MAGA movement where there is strain due to this Epstein files, I understand the frustration, and I'm not here to get involved in it, but I just want to remind you all, although no matter what you feel about the Epstein files, Donald J. Trump's still fighting for us. He made that clear today. And obviously, today is a reminder of him still fighting for us. He could have not fought for us. He could have quit. That bullet was just inches away from colliding with his brain. Just inches. And no science can prove how it didn't hit him. That's why it was an act of God. It was an act of mercy and from heaven. So don't turn on Donald Trump. And I'm not saying no one's turning on Donald Trump. I'm not here to say it. It's understandable to be frustrated with him, with the Epstein files. Absolutely. But understand, he's still fighting for us. He's still trying. And I'm still 100% MAGA. And it's time for all of us to, especially during this special day, because it must have not been easy to keep going a day later to that RNC after literally almost losing your life. But he did it for us. It's a special thing. So I just wanted to say something, because it is July 13th. It is a day that I'll always remember. It's one of the most important days of my life. I wasn't alive during 9/11. And I don't want to be alive during 9/11. But we remember 9/11 every year. It's a day we put on the calendar. And for me, I honor 9/11, but it really doesn't really have much of an effect other than it happened to my country. I wasn't alive to witness it. So it's not really deep as much it is for my parents and people that I know that were alive during that time. But July 13th is a very special day for me. But anyway, we got to talk about our gubernatorial prediction for 2026. This is not the best elections for Democrats. Democrats have a chance to pick up 2 seats in the Senate race. Not many. That's it. That's all they get. 2 seats is their best. They're not going to pick up anything this time around, because just reality, they're going to lose a seat. They're going to lose Kansas, which their term-limited governor, Laura Kelly, is term limited. There's no other Democrat than the lieutenant governor, who is electorally unknown. She's going to pretty much lead the Democrats. That's their best guy, but he's definitely going to lose. Well, anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this said prediction. It's 6 p.m. We are ready to make the first round of state calls, starting with the state of Vermont. That is Phil Scott. Governor Phil Scott, Republican. He's keeping Vermont red for over 8 years, for 10 years, a decade. Phil Scott keeping the state of Vermont red for 10 years. This guy's on a roll. He's running for a 6th term, and he's going to win. All right. Next up we have is the state of South Carolina. We can make a projection that state, the winner is going to be Alan Wilson. He will be the next governor of South Carolina. In Florida, Byron Donalds will win the race, becoming the next Florida governor. We can move on, and that is the 6 o'clock states. Ohio is the next state closing at 7:30. We can officially project that Vivek Ramaswamy will win his gubernatorial campaign. All right. Next up we have... Yep, this is what we got. All right, 8 p.m. We're ready to make some state calls. Starting with the state of New Hampshire. Kelly Ayotte will be re-elected to a second term, 2-year terms. She is relatively pretty popular. Next up we got is Governor Haley. Governor Haley, she is going to win re-election as governor of Massachusetts. No surprise. Governor McKee will win re-election. Dan McKee. Next up we have is Ned Lamont. Lamont will win a 3rd term as governor of Connecticut, believe it or not. Rhymes. Now here's Kathy Hochul. Some people say it's relatively competitive. But here's the thing. New York's New York. It's likely that she's probably going to win. But what Republicans are going to... Actually, hang on. Never mind. What am I talking about? It's not time to call New York because New York's at 9. But I just want to say anyway. Republicans are not looking to win New York governorship. They're looking to pick up seats. Those 3 swing seats. The 2 on Long Island. They're looking at like the low turnout for low momentum for Kathy Hochul will give them the incentive in picking up those 3 seats. That's what they're hoping. But that's what their goal is. Pennsylvania, we can declare that Josh Shapiro will win re-election. It's become clear that he will win. And of course, the very popular, as they say, Wes Moore will win re-election. Alabama, the Attorney General, it is said, is going to win. Actually, no, not the Attorney General. Senator Tommy Tuberville is going to win the governorship. He will be the next governor of Alabama. In Georgia, and I don't know why I didn't call this already, but we can call it because relatively, Democrats have no one to run other than they're allegedly planning to run Guelph Duncan, who is a rhino, the former Republican lieutenant governor, and I'm telling you, he's going to be running against a bunch of DEI women, by the way, and that's not going to end out well, so Duncan's very likely not going to win the primary, so I'm not concerned. But if Duncan were to run as a Democrat in the said gubernatorial race, he would lose, first off, and it would not look good for him to beat a bunch of black women. I'm just telling you. The woke diversity mob would go crazy, and not to mention the far left will ditch him, and he needs those far left Marxist votes in Atlanta. So, not too worried about Georgia. We can go ahead and call it for Chris Carr, who will be, or Burt Jones. Both of them have declared their runs. In this hypothetical, we are going to say that Burt Jones will become the next governor. All right, we can go ahead, jump to Tennessee, and we can officially say that John Rose, a congressman, U.S. congressman from the United States House of Representatives, he will win the governorship. And, yeah, Michigan's too close to call. No surprises. Illinois. We can make a projection that, yeah, J.B. Pritzker, he's running for re-election. He has declared his run. And we'll project that he will win. And Republicans are to perform pretty well, but he will still win regardless. Texas, Greg Abbott, he will win. No surprise. Some people are saying it will be safe Republican. And I'm telling you, from that flood, Texas flood, that should probably give him a huge boost. But Oklahoma. Yeah, he does. Greg Abbott's been very well with this natural disaster stuff. It helps him very much. So I have no doubts on that. The Republican. Let's see here. We have a big list on endorsements and who could possibly be the next. I'm just going to take a guess on. It's either going to be Mike Massey, he is the former Oklahoma Secretary of Budget, Charles McCall, former Speaker of the Oklahoma House, Jake Merrick. I'm going to go ahead and say it's Getner Durmond, who is the Oklahoma Attorney General. Let's go ahead and say that's him. Kansas is going to be the first flip, and we can officially project you got either Jeff Coyler or my favorite, Scott Schwab, Secretary of State, or Vicky Schmidt. I am not sure. You might want to say Jeff Collier, because he was the governor and such. So we'll probably say him, or it could be Scott Schwab because he is a very popular Secretary of State. There you go. We got. Oh yes, and Maine should be called Maine. Yes, will be Democratic, no surprise. And the gal there is term limited, Janet Mills, and some people say it's competitive because Janet Mills is just so bad. And then I'm like, nah, it's kind of like Vermont, you know? And not to mention, the list isn't good for Republicans. And I'm going to go ahead and say that it's either Shannon Bellows or Troy Jackson that or Angus King III. Yeah, he is. Angus King III is the son of U.S. Senator Angus King, so he could also win or run on that popularity, that name recognition, if you wanted to as a Democrat. So you got a good list there. All right, let's call Arkansas Huckabee Sanders. She will win re-election. And, of course, we got New York. We can go ahead and project Kathy Hochul. Like I said, Republicans are not sweating over removing her. They're just really hoping that, and she will probably get less than 5. That would be amazing. That would be crazy if she got less than 5. And it's likely, probably get 4%. That's my take. Or around the same margin that she performed in 2022. But they're mostly looking at picking up seats. That's what they're mainly looking at. All right. This 9 p.m. Minnesota. It is unclear, but if Tim Walz were to run, he would win. Despite being super unpopular, he is on. But then again, like Red Eagle said, Minnesota's Minnesota. But Steve Simons already said that he would be willing to run if Walz didn't run. So I guess we're going to see in this summer what's Walz going to do. Let's go ahead, jump to Wisconsin. That's too close to call. Iowa, we can go ahead. It's a tight race between Rob Sand and the Republican. It's either Brad Sherman or Randy Fenstra. I would say Randy has a better chance of winning than Brad, because he's a congressman, U.S. representative, has a major chance. So let's go ahead and say Randy Fenstra would win that governorship. In South Dakota, Larry Roden will win. Governor Larry Roden win re-election. Jim Pillen will win re-election in Nebraska. In New Mexico, they're getting a new governor, and that new governor, in my hypothetical, is going to be Deb Haaland, who is the U.S. Secretary of the Interior, and former U.S. Representative. Let's go ahead and call her. In Colorado, the U.S. Senator Michael Bennet will easily win. They're even categorizing this as a solid win. Wyoming. We can project that, Mike Gordon's not running, obviously. Oh, yeah, he's saying potential. But he's already indicated that he's not running for another term, as said by the map callers. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's Brett Bean, who is questionable because it's Wyoming, though. You don't really have to be experienced to run. I mean, as long as you're a Republican, they'll vote for you. You got Brad Little. He is running for re-election, allegedly. Katie Hobbs, too close to call. It's a tight race for her. All right. Nevada, we are ready to make a projection. That is specifically going to be Joe Lombardo. No surprise. That is 10 o'clock. That's the only state that's called at 10 o'clock. Joe Lombardo easily winning re-election, as we are understanding. All right, this is our map. As we are going to 11 p.m., Republicans have the advantage, obviously. They have the net worth. But I usually say whoever gains the net worth wins. And honestly, they're going to gain Kansas regardless. So I think it's in the bag for Republicans. In California, whoever it may be, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting primary race. But you are going to get a Democrat. We know that. But Republicans are praying for a very bad Democrat, because that's going to give them seats. But yes, you got some endorsements coming in. You even got a debate, believe it or not. But in this hypothetical, we're going to go ahead and say that Elena Kounalakis is going to be the nominee, the lieutenant governor. And if she's the nominee, Republicans have a chance because she represents the Newsom administration. Oregon, Tina Kotek, relatively close. It's unclear. They don't really like their governors, but they're pretty much going to win. But yes, we're going to declare that she will win re-election. All right, 12 p.m. We are ready to make a projection at 12 p.m. hour. 2 calls. Alaska's getting a new governor, as Mike Dunleavy is he is, of course, retiring. The candidate is likely going to be, let's see, Nancy Dahlstrom, the lieutenant governor. We'll go ahead and call that race for her. And, of course, Hawaii, we can project that Josh Green will win that race. All right, I forgot to make some calls, but you basically have 3 states. Arizona counts their votes longer, so we're going to wait for Arizona. And plus, it's going to be a tight race. Let's see. Governor Katie Hobbs won and beated Kari Lake by less than 1 point. What are the odds that Hobbs is going to overperform her record? I mean, let's be honest. Hobbs is not really a popular governor in Arizona. She's not expected to expand, and she has no room to go under. If she goes under, she loses. But there is, of course, and a lot of people say, yeah, so you should give this Andy Biggs the win. But there's a chance that she can pull it off due to turnout. And as it says right now, polls indicate that she would beat Andy Biggs. But that is expected to change overall. Keep in mind, this is a forecast, not necessarily a final prediction. All right. So actually, no, we're not ready to call it yet. So what are we talking about? But what we might be ready to call is Wisconsin, because Wisconsin still has no Republican running, because we got very boring options. Bill Berrien and Josh Schoeman. Very boring options. So we're going to go ahead and declare that Tony Evers will win re-election. As much as we hate to do that. All right, Michigan, we can go ahead and project the winner. You would think, like, Mike Duggan would help deliver some wins at a close result for John James, but polls are suggesting that Jocelyn Benson has a bit of 1% room of 1%. Although she has a chance to pull it off, we'll go ahead and give her the win for now. And of course, Arizona, we are indicating that Katie Hobbs would win re-election as of right now. Okay? So this is your map, your so-called blue wave. You just don't gain anything, Democrats. This is basically the best Democrats do, honestly. But they gain nothing. Like, are you going to tell me you're going to flip Florida? You're going to tell me you're going to flip Ohio or Iowa just because you got a good Democrat in Iowa? And that Democrat's losing popularity quickly. Like, people are done with him. He's been in government for 8 years. So the likelihood that he's going to down the toilet is pretty likely. So anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this said video? Anyway, let me know down below. And as always, see you all in the next political episode.